Morning guys, welcome back. Jordan here at the Nutty Gnome Homestead. Today is October 3rd, 2023, and we're out here in our fall garden. Let me turn you guys around here and I'll show you what we got going on. As you guys can see, we have a nice healthy stand of turnips coming up here. And I did an experiment this year. I wanted to see if I could get turnips to grow and germinate in these wood chips. And if you look right there, we got all kinds of turnips germinating here. I didn't do anything special to it. I just broadcast the turnip seed right into the wood chips. It rained about an inch the other day, so that pushed them in, and I got some good germination, so it can be done. We'll see how they turn out this year. But I come through and I reseeded some of the places that didn't get much germination or whatnot, so that's the difference in the older plants and the new ones there. But it's an 88-foot row of turnips. On this side we have beets. We come through here, we planted beets. Now the nice thing about everything that we plant in the fall, we can use the greens and we can use the root. So we can use the beet roots for our cooking. We can use the beet greens for our salads. We can use the turnip greens as well as the turnip roots, obviously. And I'm going to show you guys here in just a minute some other things that we got planted and that we're dealing with. But if you guys can see this right here, this is a potato plant. This is a volunteer potato that was probably missed when we were digging potatoes several months ago. So those ones that were left in the ground, they just resprouted, and I got probably a dozen or so, maybe more, volunteer potatoes. So I'll be watching the weather, and if we have a chance of frost, I'll actually get out here and I'll get these covered because they don't tolerate the frost very well. The beets and the turnips, they can handle a little bit of frost, but the potatoes cannot. On this side, I left the row cover in here. I'm getting ready to plant a bunch of cabbage. They're in the greenhouse. And right here, we have our kale. Rich leafy greens. Another 88-foot row. Guys, I'm really liking having these wood chips in between the rows. It makes keeping the weeds down a whole lot easier. But I originally said I wasn't going to plant much of a fall garden this year, and I really don't consider this much. I got 13 spots in here, 88-foot long rows. I've got about 9 of them planted right now. I'm going to get a row of cabbage put in, and I'll get a couple other things. But I just come out of here this morning and watered a pile of wood chips. See if we got our thermometer going up any. Yeah, we're getting there. Give it a couple more hours, it'll be up there in the 130, 140 range. So I'm going to try to get this pile moved, and whenever I move it, I'm going to mix it with some green grass clippings. We're going to try to get this thing broken down pretty quick. But today, I'm out here planting our fall lettuce. This is a German variety. It is very good. Nice buttery taste to it. It handles the frost well. Basically handles the winters well here in southern Illinois. I actually have some that we planted last October, November-ish, and we picked it almost at Easter time, and it was still good and sweet, and it wasn't tough. So I've got 90 plants I'm going to put in this raised bed. I'll show you guys what we're doing. This is that German variety of lettuce I was telling you guys about. I started this a couple weeks ago, transplanted it. It's time to get them put out here. I'm planting them 6 inches on center. This is a butterhead variety. So it'll be nice and crispy and crunchy and delicious, and we'll have something to eat this winter. Okay guys, so this is one of our pots of lettuce that we started a couple weeks ago. There really has not been much fertilization put on this, just a little bit of rainwater. These are ready to get put into the ground. Whenever we transplant our lettuce, we like to get them in the ground before they get root bound in these pots. We try to make sure that we don't disturb the roots too much. You can see it's just starting to get a couple roots here on the bottom. So, like I said, we're putting these 6 inches apart in this. It's 6 foot long by about 3 foot wide. We're putting quite a few in here. I think we're going to get around 45 or 50 heads of lettuce in here. So we're just using our spade as a guide. We're putting these 6 inches apart. Just rake back a little hole, dump in the lettuce plant, heel it in. It's really that simple, guys. Growing your own food does not have to be difficult. Dump it in there, heel it in. Now, I am going to give these guys pretty good watering this afternoon and again this evening. I want to make sure that they get established before they dry out. I don't want the 80 and 90 degree weather to become a problem here. So, see, these guys, they come out with just a little tap, and as you guys can see, there's just a couple fine little roots starting to poke on the bottom. So this is the right time to get in here and get these guys transplanted. Dig a little hole, heel it in. That's all there is to it. Okay guys, so there you have it. I got 72 heads of lettuce in this raised bed. I've got another 18 or so in the greenhouse, maybe more. This is going to be our lettuce for the fall and the winter. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and give this a good drink right now, and then I'll give it a drink this afternoon, and I may go ahead and add some nitrogen fertilizer, some of our homemade fish emulsion, because these are leafy greens. They're going to like a lot of nitrogen, so we want to make sure we give them what they need. You feed your plants and they'll feed you. So we're just going to go ahead and get these guys watered in. Since we just put them in, we don't want to water them too hard. You don't want to damage your plants. I don't want to push them out, push them in, wash the dirt away. That's all these guys are going to get right now. I'm going to let that soak in. It's supposed to be in the upper 80s today. I don't want to literally fry my plants. If I give them too much water right now before I think it's only about 10:30, you could actually sunburn your plants and cook them. We don't want to do that, so a little bit of water, help them get established. This is going to dry out before it hurts the plants. Give them another drink later on tonight. These guys will perk right up and they'll take right off. Okay guys, so we're back in the greenhouse. As you can see, I said I had another tray or so of lettuce ready to go. You always keep a few extras. For those of you that have never done it, you can direct seed your beets, but if you put them in plugs and transplant them while they're still young, they work just as well. You get a lot better germination this rate. You can thin them out. You can actually separate these instead of just clipping off the extras, you can actually separate these and get extra plants out of your seeds. So there's a little free tip. But right now I'm getting ready to transplant a bunch of our cabbage. This is the Golden Acre heirloom variety. This is a good one for the fall. It's about a 3-pound head of cabbage. Does real well, about 65 days or so. We started these about 2 weeks ago, so it's time to get them transplanted. And just like all the other transplant videos, this isn't rocket science. This is just how we do it. You may have a different way, and that's totally okay. We reuse all of our little pots. There's no sense in getting rid of them. At the end of the year, we sanitize everything, put it away for the next growing season. And you guys have seen me do this before. Just take 2 fingers, push up from the bottom, and then just dump it out. See, these guys are just starting to get some pretty good roots on them. And since I didn't water these last night or this morning, they separate very easy. You can just prune for 1 or 2, plants per pot. If you separate them early, there's a better chance that you can get all the plants to survive, and you get more bang for your buck. You're not spending all that time and effort putting in 100 seeds only to grow 50 plants because you pruned your other 2 or 3 out of each pot. So, and this goes pretty quick, guys. Like I said, I didn't water them last night so that the soil would be nice and dry and be easy to separate them without any root damage. You absolutely do not want to damage any of these roots. Cabbage are heavy feeders. They're going to need a lot of nitrogen. We do like to give these guys our same homemade nitrogen fertilizers that we do all of our lettuce and whatnot. Now, this one here, this plug, it had several seeds in it. But as you can see, for only being in the pot for 2 weeks, it doesn't really have that many roots. This one's still going to be easy enough to separate these plants out. So, dump soil out. Get a couple plots of soil. Here, we'll do this one here. See? Just pick it up and gently tease. Don't pull. Let the plant and the weight of the soil do the work. You don't want to damage anything. See how easy those all come apart? And instead of pruning that down to 1 or 2 cabbage plants, I got 10. So I'm going to put you guys on pause and I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay guys, so there you have it. It took me about 15 minutes. I got 79 cabbage plants potted up, good and healthy. Now we're just going to go through and give them a drink. With this peat moss, compost, vermiculite mixture, we water them multiple times when we first start. And the reason being is this compost and peat moss and whatnot is hydrophobic, meaning it'll repel the water, at least for a little bit, till it gets saturated. So if we water it once, come back in a little bit, water it again, it'll actually take in more water. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to water it now, give it a couple hours, and whenever I come back to water our lettuce outside, I'll go ahead and give all this another drink. Because right now that water's just going to run right through. It's not going to do too much, not really going to help out the roots. But this is how we do our fall gardening, guys. It's very simple. I like to use the KISS method. No sense in making this overly complicated. I'm not growing for competition, I'm growing to eat. And while I'm at it, I'll go ahead and water these beets. I'll get these guys transplanted tonight out in the garden. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but I have a clear tote right there that I actually set over this 10 by 20 tray of beets. It helped them get established in pretty good size in just a few days. So there you have it, guys. That's all we're doing for our fall gardening. Nothing too special. I wish I would have put in a round of fall potatoes, but I didn't. It is what it is. So if you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to get a hold of me down below or shoot a message over on Facebook, Nutty Gnome Homestead. If you guys have any suggestions for future videos, please let me know. Till next time, get out there and plant your fall garden. You guys may be needing it more than you realize.